Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. I hope all of you guys are doing good. And yes, it's Friday the 13th. So we're going to start off by giving a big shout out to the former vice president. Let's go, Brandon. And yes, his AFT is at it again. Just put out a video a little bit ago on my channel. Hopefully, you guys have had a chance to see it. But they're messing with JSD Supply and Jordan Vinro. Not happy about it. There's a little good news, though. There's a new, we'll call them upstart company, if you will, that's filing a lawsuit against the ATF. So that's good news. So I'd like to welcome all of you guys tonight. We're going to have a good conversation. And I'd especially like to welcome Susan Wiki, all the people that watch these streams from YouTube. I know a lot of you guys are fans of the channel, and I hope you guys have a great time tonight too. So let's go, Susan. Now, there were two articles that I reported on earlier written in AmmoLand News, which is an excellent publication. And I guess one of the benefits to being friends with the author of both of those articles is having him on your show. So let's get John Crump in here, author of the two articles that we're reporting on this, Gun Owners of America. He's owner of Black Swan Tactical. That's where you can get my merch. And John Crump News, John Crump Live on YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Micah?
Good. How you doing, man? What's going on?
You? Not much, man. Just tired.
Me too. I've been cutting grass all day, and you've been going through what, piles of paperwork and data dumps, I assume?
Yeah. I have, my man. I have. I've been going through and I got some stuff that I'm looking at right now. I've been looking into the Division 80 thing, which is kind of interesting.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit here.
And a bunch of other stuff. I've been doing some background investigation stuff for certain interest and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Why don't you go ahead and shout people out, let people know where they can get a hold of you first, because everyone does that at the end. And let's just get at the beginning of the video. Did I miss anything?
No. John Crump News, MLN, John Crump Live, Black Swan Tactical, of course. Instagram at Real John Crump. Twitter at CrumpySS.
Locals?
Yeah. Locals, yeah, johncrump.locals.com.
And
yeah, I'm actually having a great time over at Locals.
So am I, guys. And make sure you check out my Locals community too if you're new. It's censorship free. We're able to do a lot of stuff over there we can't do on YouTube, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really like it. My community is really growing. I now have the ability to live stream.
Nice.
But I have not live streamed yet over there, but I'm planning on doing it soon.
I live stream over there at least once a week, and it's a great time.
Yeah, apparently you have to get to a certain level before you can it starts unlocking stuff the more people you have.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm getting up to a bigger level so I can start doing a lot more over there. I'm already doing a lot over there, but I can start doing a lot more.
Yeah, that's cool just to see so many people coming over and giving alternative sites a chance so we can get away from the likes of Susan and so many more, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when I read this article that you wrote in AmmoLand, let's go over the JSD one first.
Okay. I have like 15 articles that I've written. Not all of them have dropped, so I'm not even sure which one's out there.
Well, this is the one that the initial report talking about that they received a cease and desist letter recently, right?
That is correct. They received a cease and desist letter on yesterday. Yesterday, I believe. I haven't slept in a few days. I have a lot going on. But so they received cease and desist yesterday. 2 ATF agents from the Pittsburgh field office showed up right after they opened and served them a cease and desist letter. The cease and desist letter is kind of convoluted. Before we get into any of that, by the way, these are awesome. Yeah, I got an unfinished one here. This is their 380 frame, and this is a finished one. And I keep this one to show the difference. So this is the way it starts out, and this is the way it comes out after you drill all the holes and bend everything. But so after they get the cease and desist order, Before I get into any of that, what I want to say is there's been some rumors going out that they were raided, which is not true. Raid is when they show up and take product or take records. No products were taken. No records were taken. Another thing that are rumors going around is that the ATF seized the website. That is not true. Their website is up where you can go buy shirts to help fight for the calls. So you can go buy a JSD Supply shirt right now, and the proceeds will go towards their legal defense. So I want to get that out of the way. There will be another legal defense coming out fairly shortly here. I was hoping to have it up by the stream, but it's not been approved yet by the platform Give and Go. But that will be coming out soon, and we're going to raise some money for JSD to help them fight this battle, because this battle is more than just JSD. But getting back to what happened, so they got the cease and desist. And the letter was very convoluted. It wasn't really clear what they can and can't do. It talked about structuring and stuff. But basically, since they sell polymer 80s and the MUP ones and parts on the website, it's saying that you're selling firearms, even though that they don't sell them together. They're saying you're selling firearms. So let's say you go on there and you buy a MUP 1 and you finish it, then you put it in your closet or whatever. Then you go back 3 years later and you buy a trigger.
Uh-huh.
They will consider that structuring, and then they say that JSD sold a firearm.
This sounds like thought crime or constructive intent and all of this.
Yeah. Structuring has never been applied to like a company like this. It's structuring is when you go into the bank and you deposit $9,999, so you don't hit that $10,000. The next day you go and you deposit $9,999 again, so you don't hit that $10,000.
The suspicious activity report that they fill out.
Yeah,
when you do
that's called structuring. That's illegal. But the bank doesn't get charged with structuring. The person doing the crime gets charged with structuring. In this case, it's not illegal for you to buy the parts. So it's really weird what they're trying to do.
Building guns is not a crime. This is what popped in my head when I was reading this letter from the AFT. This is available, guys. The link to the AmmoLand article is in the description. You'll find this letter embedded into that article. Now, I'm thinking of Lowe's that's just down the street. I just bought some supplies there the other day. They sell pipes, nails, everything that could put together a privately made firearm. I wonder if Lowe's is getting this letter, because people in theory could buy one piece at a time firearm.
Well, I guess you can't buy a pipe and a nail, or that would be them selling you a firearm. So once you buy a pipe, you can never buy a nail from the company ever.
So don't do any carpentry and plumbing in your lifetime, because the way I'm reading this here, they don't say like within a short proximity of time. There's no days or weeks in here.
Forever. Yeah, well, that's the way we're reading it. That's the way you could read it.
Sure.
But the thing is, it's out of abundance of caution, they stopped selling everything because they don't know if that's what it actually is or not.
So you've reported on this 10 times. I've talked about this 10 times in the last year or so under the administration of the former vice president. It seems it's getting worse. Let me say this first. Do you remember when there was that health care bill? They called it Obamacare, and Pelosi said you have to pass it before you know what's in it?
Yeah, you have to pass it before you know what's in it, yes.
This sounds like you have to break the law and then get indicted and your whole life ruined financially or imprisoned before you find out what the law actually is. Do you see that analogy?
Yep.
So they're talking about the fact that, and this is what I found astonishing. So there's this rule, which is completely unconstitutional. All gun control is unconstitutional. The GCA, the NFA, every last one shall not be infringed means what it means, right? But even underneath this convoluted, confusing rule, Rule 2021R-05F, I thought it was 120 days before it goes into effect, right?
Well, they're claiming that this is independent of the rule. This is the way it's always been.
That's what I'm getting at.
The interesting thing is that they are under the Pittsburgh field office, but this letter originated from the Philadelphia field office. So what that tells me is that it probably centers around Josh Shapiro. Josh Shapiro, who is the anti-gun AG of Pennsylvania and running for governor, and put together the NBC hit piece, their news article. It was a hit piece. I think that he had something to do with it.
Now, is he the same guy that was modeling in the gun shows with Jordan Venro? And
correct.
Okay.
And then he got him shut down, and he did the little press conference, how happy he was that the gun shows got shut down, and then Jordan turned around and bought the gun show.
So I would hope the AFT is not being weaponized for political reasons, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was. Would you?
They've been weaponized for political reasons for a long time.
Exactly. It was hard for me to keep a straight face when I said I would hope they wouldn't do that, right? Now, here's the other interesting part. From what I understand, they are going to revoke or void the prior approval letters on these certain parts with the new rule 2021R05F, right?
Yep.
Now, the rule doesn't go into effect, though, until August. So is it August that those letters would get revoked? So therefore, they're still active approval letters right now?
Correct.
So he has an active approval letter right now, and they're saying completely separately from this new AFT rule, they just decided to send this cease and desist anyways, but they must know that he has active, legitimate, certified letters right now.
Well, this thing, you have letters, and the products you have letters for, you're allowed to sell. But since you sell parts, and does that mean a spring? Does that mean a trigger? Does that mean a slide? So therefore, you can't sell it.
So on semantics, they're saying, well, hold on a minute. We have generally approved an 80% whatever, but now you have a spring and you didn't get an approval letter for that. Is that something like that?
Well, they're kind of saying you have an approval letter to sell that, but we had no idea that you're going to be selling other parts on your website.
Okay. So this goes back to where they're saying, this is according to this administration and the ATF, they believe it's some kind of scheme where people would circumvent the GCA because in all actuality, these parts that are purchased at any length of time in proximity with a kit, right, that's also not a firearm, to circumvent the GCA because really they're firearms because they're so readily convertible. Is that kind of it?
Yeah.
So this is just thought crime, though, and it's pre-crime, and this is literally insane. Just think about this. Somebody's sitting at the bar having a drink or two. At a certain point, they have too many drinks, and they think to themselves, I'm thinking about driving home. Do they get in trouble because they're thinking about drinking and driving, even though 10 minutes later they thought better of it and called an Uber? It sounds like people are going to be getting in trouble, or in this case, cease and desist, financial laws, because maybe somebody might do something wrong in the future. Is that kind of what it is?
Unfortunately, it seems like that's what it is.
And it seems like it's just part of so much bigger narrative. Like, if you think to yourself, boy, I wish something bad would happen, is that actually going to be a crime in this country soon? Is it already? Do we even know what the laws are in this country anymore?
That is kind of a really good question. And David, I wish I could answer it for you. I'm just going to random names.
Well, here's what it seems like to me. All political power comes from the barrel of a gun. These people do have guns. Maybe not the exact people that showed up to see Jordan Venro, but we've seen this agency show up to Ruby Ridge and Waco, Texas, and those were very somber occasions, right?
Yep. I shared a picture. I'm going to share 2 pictures, if you don't mind, just to show something. And no one's seen these yet, so you're going to be the first.
Okay.
So you can say breaking news, whatever.
So I add this to the stream here.
Yep. Okay, so this is an approval letter.
Okay.
From the ATF or something. And remember how they say you couldn't sell it with jigs and drill bits and everything else?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an approval letter. And I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to show you. I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to share another screen. I'm going to show you what they approved. And this has not been seen anywhere until now.
Well, thank you for sharing this with us.
And go ahead and add this one.
Okay.
So look, the ATF claimed that people were submitted that they haven't approved anything with jigs. That's what the ATF said. Jigs and drill bits. They say people just sent the frames. They didn't send the complete kits. That was
Really?
approved, and that's a picture of what was submitted to the ATF and what was approved. What do you see there?
Well, I see a jig. I see a piece of plastic that's not a firearm. I see 3 sizes of drill bits and an end mill.
Yep. They claim that they've never received any of that, and they never approved anything that had a jig and drill bits and all that.
What do you guys think of this in the chat right now? What are you seeing? I mean, just remember, truth is treason in the empire of lies. So according to the AFT, this isn't what you think it is right now. Right?
Yeah. Apparently, they've never approved anything like that, but they also don't know I had this.
Interesting. So are they coming after my dog tonight? It's actual goats in my case, or yours?
I don't know. I don't have a dog for that reason.
Man, that's crazy, guys. Just take one last look at that here.
Yeah. JSD is back online, but they're not. All the parts are out of stock. They are selling T-shirts to raise money for their legal fund.
Now, here's the thing. He's been on your show quite a few times. He's never been on mine.
He's a great friend of mine.
Yeah, can you tell people? And I've also met Jordan several times. I'm not as close with him as you are, but we are on a first name basis, and I really like him. Can you talk real quick about Jordan Vinro and just kind of what type of person he is and what he's going to do as far as people's records? Is he going to fight? I mean, there's people wanting to know all this stuff.
Okay. Jordan is a fighter. He is going to fight. Behind the scenes, he has helped out GOA immensely. I'm talking about financial donations. I'm talking about information. I'm talking about using contacts, introducing. He has been an integral part of the GOA family for a long time. We have GOA partner companies, and then we have JSD Supply. And seriously, there's not another company out there that we work as closely with than JSD Supply. He does a lot behind the scenes with GOA. He's on the first name basis with everyone at GOA. Everyone at GOA loves him. I love him as a brother. He's like a brother to me. He is one of the most caring people I know. My dad died recently, and my wife was deployed when this all happened. All of a sudden, I started getting random candy deliveries for my kids from the boys at JSD Supply.
That's awesome.
And then I started getting heavily ham deliveries and other food deliveries. I mean, not like, we're going to send you a pizza. I mean, it was like, you're going to eat for 2 weeks. You don't have to worry about anything. And then I would also get packages with P80s in there or whatnot, or other things like that. Or something like this. This is one of their slides, Patmo slides. YouTube, that's not a firearm. Let's not go down that road again.
We've had that happen here.
Yeah. But it was like, hey, just take your mind off of everything. You like building, so build.
So what people think about is this. Now, I know you already addressed this in the beginning. I addressed it in my video earlier. What about a raid? As far as, okay, can you tell people this? Were they even in the building? Were they snooping around? I mean, do you know the extent?
They were not in the building.
Okay.
They were not in the building. They were at the front door. They served the cease and desist, and they never entered the building. They never asked to enter the building. They were never in the building, never asked for customer records, never asked for anything. They weren't given anything.
Okay. So essentially they were given an original version of this and whatever accompanying folder they put it in or whatever.
Correct.
Okay. That's good to know because you've been reporting on it. I've been reporting on it for a couple of years now, when they went into Polymer 80, they went into different trigger companies. I mean, sometimes they do actually go inside, and they've been known in different cases to take computers out and all that.
Yeah. Jordan called me right after it happened.
Yes.
And they arrived at like 9 a.m. exactly. And he called me at like 9:10.
Okay, that's awesome. I just wanted to make sure people knew that because certain things are going to be within Jordan's control. Certain things aren't, because literally, I hate to keep reminding everybody of this, but all political power comes from the barrel of a gun. That's what Mao said. He was wrong on all of his communist philosophies, but he was right in that if enough people show up with guns at JSD, he might have to do something. But other than that, do you see him being the type of guy that's just going to make a backroom deal with the ATF and give them more than what they want? Or I know this is a legal case, so I don't want
not
you to
a chance in hell.
Okay.
I know it's a legal case. But I will say not a chance in hell.
I just wanted you to vouch for the character of the actual owner of the company, because I've known a lot about him behind the scenes, but I wanted everybody to know, who there's a little bit about him.
There's a reason why we call him Saint Vinro.
Right?
No, but he is incredibly we were doing a fundraiser, and he came on. We were raising money for someone cancer treatment. So he was in the chat, and all of a sudden it's like $2,000 donation. Like, what? And it turned out it was Jordan. That's the type of guy he is.
That's awesome. And I think it was almost a year ago on my channel, I was showing some of his product, his Patmo slides. We attempted to on that stream that got nuked, but I did a standalone video and I told you guys, look, he always has been, still is, and is ready for any future fights when it comes to any of this unconstitutional BS. And I think that's why they actually probably targeted him, if I were to opine. What do you think about that?
I would say you're probably right. I mean, they didn't go to anyone else.
I don't think they went to Lowe's, because clearly you could make a privately made firearm from there. Very easy.
Yep.
So they're saying right here that he needs to, so this is all in bold, guys. This letter is available in the link on the Ammo Land article that Crump wrote. Number 1, cease and desist the sale of firearms without a license. So is that them saying that he would need an FFL because he doesn't sell firearms? That's confusing.
Yeah. Well, where they're saying since he sells parts and kits on the same website, I don't know. I don't think they even know, to tell you the truth.
But they're not firearms. So let me ask you this question. I cut lawns and landscaping for a living. What if I were to apply to the ATF, and this is just your opinion, but I think you know the answer. If I were to apply to the ATF and say, I want to get an FFL for the purposes of cutting lawns, and I don't sell firearms, would they even grant me an FFL?
No.
But they're saying that he needs to have a license, but he doesn't sell firearms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're trying to convolute that. Yeah, well, you have enough parts to build one if you wanted to. It's like, come on.
But laws are supposed to be black and white. Laws are not supposed to be ambiguous, intentionally vague, misleading, right?
Welcome to the world of Chevron.
Chevron deference. That's what the bump stock was all about the whole time, guys. We've been talking about it.
And we're still fighting it
for a few years. Okay, so then they go further. Cease and desist the sale of the full set of component parts necessary to produce a readily converted into functioning firearm. That's poor. That's like poor grammatical. Like they don't even have, anyways, grammatically poor sentence. Whether in a single transaction or in multiple structured transactions.
Yeah, so does that mean once you buy something, if you buy a P80, you're never allowed to buy anything else from them ever again? And how would they even determine that?
Well, they just say here, they don't even really call it a P80, or they don't even call it a MUP. It literally just says, from the plain reading of it, unless there's something implied here, they just say a full set of components necessary. So what about like if you go to different places where they have a cut up Romanian AKM, and then they also sell all the US 922R parts? That would meet criteria number 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's not clear, and that's why I said I don't think they even know what they're talking about.
Now, what about okay, PSA. They're friends of mine, great company. They will sell you a full AR parts kit, right? And then they will also sell you everything else to make it into a firearm. Because this doesn't even say 80% in number 2. It just says all of the parts necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they're implying the frame or receiver, but
I think they
who
are,
knows?
but it's not on there.
No, it's not on there. That's
Okay.
part of the problem.
Now, here's the other big problem. Number 3, they're telling him to follow the darn law. It says immediately and fully comply with and abide by all laws and regulations governing the sale of firearms, frames, and receivers. But I thought since these are not firearms, he is abiding by all laws.
You would think he is. I mean, that's what I take it as, that he's obeying the laws. But you know, the ATF, they're out of control. They're a rogue agency.
They are, exactly, man. I called my congressman yesterday. I was working a lot. I couldn't do a video yesterday, but I called their Washington, D.C. office, Jackson, Michigan office. Said, you know what? I want you guys to be aware of this situation that happened with JSD Supply, and I referenced this letter. I said, I also just want you guys to abolish the ATF because they're so rogue at this point. I don't think they can be repaired. I don't think there can be any type of remediation. They literally just need to go, like, period, end of story. And the lady was nice, and she said, well, what would you suggest replace them? I said, well, I'm talking about the guns portion of them, firearms portion. I said, I don't think we need one at all, actually, because the law of the land says shall not be infringed. So as long as we have zero gun control laws, which is all we're allowed to have in this country, is zero gun control laws, we obviously don't need an agency to enforce no laws. So that's what I told my congressman.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. Some people I see out there saying I'm not as heated as I am last night. No, I took my medication tonight.
Well, we don't need to be heated. I'm fired up about this. It's just
no. Last night I kind of got really, really heated.
I haven't had a chance to watch that particular episode you're talking about. I've just been working way too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, Linda, I think we got a couple super chats. Can you show those real quick and see if you guys have any questions for Crump? We'll try to answer those too. This seems like it's personal to me, and it seems like it's just as vague and arbitrary as the 2021 5F, 2021 R5F. That's what I think.
Yeah, they try to make them vague and arbitrary on purpose so they can use Chevron. Goes all the way back to Chevron again. Everything ends up as Chevron.
I think these guys are bullies, and they're trying to scare all of us. So I would encourage everybody watching right now, don't be scared. That's what they want. America the Free with the super chat and a channel member. Thanks, man. He said, love you guys. Real news about real issues that matter. Hope the vote on May 22nd is a down vote. Or it's 1776 again. Well, thanks for supporting the channel, man. And I appreciate the compliment, dude. Thank you. People have been talking more about 1776 than I've ever heard before. And there's actually more than half the people in this country right now think we're on the verge of some type of civil or revolutionary war. Now, of those, over 60% that think we're on the verge, 30% said they actually want it. Have you been hearing stats like that?
I have. And it's kind of scary.
It is, and I don't want that. But I do want a government that's instituted among men that literally is only would exist at all to protect our natural God-given rights. That is the government I want, just like what the founding fathers wanted.
I don't want a revolution. I want a restoration.
And abolishments of different things like the AFT, right?
Yeah, like I want a restoration to what the Constitution was supposed to be.
Which did not include the ATF.
Which did not include ATF. Didn't include a lot of different things that we have.
No, you're right on that. Marco Polo with a super chat and a channel member. Thanks a lot, man. He said, evening to AE to you and Crump. Thank you both. Well, you're welcome, man. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm literally sitting here thinking about this, and I'm like, look, on the surface, it's about Jordan. And that really, really sucks because he's a real person. He has a real business. I've met some of his employees before, and these people like really have families to feed. And like, you know what I'm saying? It's like truly about him in one way. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, it is about Jordan. This is what I say. It's about Jordan. It's about Bailey. It's who's another employee. It's about Bob. It's about Aaron. All his employees, but it's also about you and I.
Bingo. I knew you were going to say that. That's why I started off that way.
And I think that's what people need to realize. It's just not about JSD. This fight's not about JSD. What they are doing to JSD, if we let them do that, that's going to have a ripple effect across the whole industry. They get away with it with JSD, they're going to go to P80. They're going to go to 80% Arms. They're going to go to Brownells. They're going to go to Midway. They're going to go to all these sites that sell kits and parts. They're going to go to Flying Rich out there.
What's happening, Flying Rich? Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. He says, Crumpy, I love you, man. I think he likes me too, but he definitely loves you, right?
Yeah, Rich is my best friend.
What's happening, Rich?
Yeah. He is my co-host and my producer of my show.
I heard that right around the time that Jordan sent you those hams, I heard Rich sent you a couple bologna sandwiches with no mustard or condiments or anything. Is that true?
No, he sent me some stuff from Wish. He's like, put this on the back of your... No, I'm just joking.
Oh, that's where those came from. I didn't get anything like that, is what I meant to say.
Just joking.
Just joking, Susan. We were talking about the lovely food that... Look at this. Susan Wiki. She's a real beauty, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Marco Polo with another super chat. Thanks, man. Also a local supporter. He says ATF equals a team of fools. I agree.
Or another type of F word at the end, but let's keep
family
it PG.
friendly.
Family
friendly channel, right?
Yeah, let's keep it family friendly. Last night you can go back and watch DLD After Dark and see my non-family friendly version.
Oh man, Angry Fat Boy 1776. I told you that's a popular date lately. Thanks for the super chat, man. Says love you guys, great content as always. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the ways you guys make this channel possible, by the way. Thanks so much to my Patreon supporters, super chats, channel members, local supporters. Some of you just send me stuff. You use my links over on locals. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to make sure I thanked you because there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff behind the scenes. So support all your favorite content creators because I know a lot of these guys are working hard.
Yeah. Honestly, people don't realize how much work does go into it. For every hour I do, every hour I spend actually writing an article and putting it out and earning money. You don't earn anything if you don't actually put it out because I freelance basically. I freelance exclusively for Amaland, but I freelance so I can keep my independence. I could work as a staff writer, but I want to keep my independence so I can do my YouTube videos and everything, and it won't reflect on anyone else. So for every hour I put out there, there's probably about 10 hours of actual throwaway time. When I say throwaway time, I mean leads, tips that aren't actually anything. So you spend hours researching and then you're like, all right, this is BS, or oh, this is nothing.
Guys, I'll tell you something. I've been on the phone with John. Some of them very brief. I'll call you back. But we've been on about 6 or 7 or 8 phone calls today, back and forth talking about stuff. And I've literally can vouch for this. John's lead on one of these current issues, not JSD, something else. Literally, he went down a dead-end road and had to do U-turns and another U-turn, and he had to blow 5 red lights, figuratively, just in the last few hours, right?
Yeah. but I got it.
I think you're onto something, and I told the
No,
guys to be, they could get more information from you on that later or not.
across the finish line on that one.
Now, what else? Do you want to say anything else about JSD? Because I know you've talked about it. A lot of people had. I just wanted to have an opportunity to see if anyone had any specific questions.
Yeah, I will say that we will be launching Dark from DLD After Dark. Flying Rich, who's out there in the chat, and I are going to be launching a Gives and Go. Jordan have entered all this financial information, but once that gets approved by Gives and Go, which I don't see why it wouldn't, they just have to approve the credit card stuff. We will be launching a legal fund, and all the money will go towards the legal fund for JSD, and whatever is left over, he's going to donate it to a pro-gun organization.
Okay. So stay tuned for that. People can buy stuff right now. You said kind of swag-oriented stuff from his site?
T-shirts.
Okay. That sounds good. Do you guys have any specific questions about this? Because, I'll do my best a lot of times too. I don't really report. It's more like op-ed stuff that I do, guys. Sometimes I find breaking news, but normally it's op-ed. But the actual author of the articles is here right now. So JSD stuff. I want to know one more thing about JSD, and I guess kind of Jordan specifically. I'm sure he's worried, so I don't want you to completely speak on his behalf, but what's the odds, do you think, just in your opinion, that they are going to come in there and do one of these full-blown, breach the doors and the stuff that somebody's worst fear? Is that a worry right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's worried about it or not, but that is definitely something to consider. I don't think that they will, not until the new rule passes, and they're gonna just see it play out, especially now.
Yeah.
If they are going to try to get any type of legal action or something like that, if that happens, then definitely not. If you don't, maybe, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening, because I think Jordan is going to fight back.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I hope he's okay. You know what I mean? Not just his business interest, but I hope he's actually safe. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see, an arrest or anything like that.
That's good. That's good.
Usually they will serve you with a cease and desist, or they'll arrest you. Now, if you don't comply with the cease and desist, things can get kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Sometimes not. It just depends on the U.S. attorney, the ATF, and why not? So we'll see.
And he has legal counsel that he's currently working with behind the scenes to make the best decisions. That's kind of what I read in the article, right?
Yeah, Rob Olson.
Okay. Which is also the a good friend of yours.
Yeah, and you know Rob.
Yes, I do.
He's incredibly sharp.
Very, very smart. Very, very specialized within this area of the law, right?
Yep.
Works with the GOA, right?
Works with GOA. He's chief legal counsel for GOA.
I always forget half the stuff I hear, what's publicly available or not. So I'm just like, works with the GOA, or is it chief legal counsel for the GOA?
Yeah.
All right.
So he knows what he's doing.
Yes, and I've talked to him on the phone before, text messages, and I think if you said he was smart, that would probably actually be an understatement, right?
Yeah, definitely an understatement.
So Jordan's in good hands. Look, I'm a customer of JSD Supply, guys, and I'm glad I am. And it sucks that I can't be literally right now. Well, I can go buy a t-shirt tonight. That's awesome. I think I do need to go get a t-shirt as soon as the stream's over, now that I think about it.
Yep.
All right. There's something else going on. I guess we're gonna call this a bit of good news. Actually, this is good news, guys. I mean, about a bad topic. Your article that you put out today in Ammo Lens says first lawsuit over the AFT's frames and receivers rules filed in Texas, right?
That is correct. In Galveston, Texas.
Hmm.
By Division 80.
Now, I thought about that. I said this to you on the phone, and I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Division 80. Now, 80 could just be the year that the owner's kid was born or the year they graduated high school, but that's a little coincidental. When I see Division 80, it makes me think of like something to do with 80% firearms, right?
Yeah, they're suing over that. They're suing over the ability of the not having the ability to sell and to go out of business. They're short term. Sorry, they were formed in November, but
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering who they are because basically, like a little bit like a shell company, a lot like a shell company.
Something that lawyers set up for a certain reason.
Yeah. And I just found out that they are a shell company.
Interesting.
I mean, they are a shell company, and but what I'm saying, what do I have to say? No, I found out who they are.
Okay.
I'll tell you the story. I'm not going to say who they are because honestly, I don't want to out anyone who doesn't want to be outed.
Don't let the enemy know everything either, right?
Yeah, don't let the enemy. If I don't know exactly, like their reasoning, I guess you can say.
Right.
But here's the thing. I have been trying to track down who it is for a while. And this morning, all of Division 80's attorneys started following me on social media. And I'm like, I must be getting close. And then somebody gave me information that it was another company, this company that actually set it up. So I started looking into that, but then it hit me. I haven't even thought about this organization, and their attorneys are following me before I even started looking into this organization that I got information on. So I was like, I think someone's trying to send me down the wrong path. And this is what I spent hours doing. I don't really get paid for a lot for it. So I stopped there, turned around, went back, and started going down some roads I've been down that I hit roads and looked for telltale signs and everything else. And then I was able to find out who they were.
Okay, so see the comment I put up there. There's about a few that are kind of adjacent to this. Are these good guys or bad guys as far as you can tell right now?
Oh, no, they're definitely good guys.
Okay.
They're definitely good guys, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not outing them.
Okay.
They're definitely good guys, so I'm not going to out them right now. They have their reasons, and I'm pretty sure I know what the reasons are, but I'm not going to out them right now.
So when I first saw Division 80, I'm thinking like, okay.
Yeah, the first time I looked, I was like, who the hell is that?
Is this CIA Operation Division 80 or, you know, but then I see names in your article here, like the co-counsel, Corey Liu, which was with the Abbott administration in Texas. Then we see Michael Sullivan, former AFT acting director. Now we see people like Rick Vasquez in here, head of Fat D, one of the guys that has said and still does say bump stocks are not machine guns. This actually looks like a legit crew, doesn't it?
No, they're definitely a legit crew. A lot of money backing this lawsuit.
No, since we don't know who they are, I don't think this is anybody we technically donate to, but I think this is somebody like I'm really rooting for.
Yeah, it's not a organization.
Okay, so this isn't anything where you're gonna like, donate like you would to the GOA or FPC.
No, it's not a gun rights organization or anything like that. But
somebody has a whole heck of a lot of money though to get this team going here. Just a few names that I see.
Yes, they spent a lot of money on it, and finding out that they've been gearing up for about a year.
Yeah, exactly. And look, guys, Jeff said never mind. No, dude, when I was reading this, I'm like, did Crump miss the word Operation Division 80 on there? Like, I get it, guys. I mean, look, you can't really, but that's why our friend John does investigative journalism and has found out at least some information and some of the names of people associated with this company, right?
Right.
Now, here's a question I've been getting a lot lately. And I did a video back when I was at the PSA, the Gathering event with our friend Jordan with GOA. And this stuff was all just impending at that time. It's like, dude, this is coming out any day, but it hadn't exactly launched yet. This
It's not Cody.
2021, right?
Yeah.
And I said, what are you guys doing? Are you getting ready? He said, dude, we are ready for the fight. We know it's coming. And, dude, like, we're ready. Trust me, GOA's on it. That's the last thing I heard from someone from GOA. People are wondering, why hasn't GOA done a lawsuit yet? And is GOA still ready, or did it get like cold feet? I've actually been asked that.
No, GOA is still ready. The lawsuit is ready. It will be dropping soon. The plaintiffs are ready. They have everything. Everything is ready to go on the lawsuit. There are reasons why it hasn't dropped yet. I know everyone's impatient for good reason, and everyone is anxious. They want to see someone fight back. They want to see multiple people fight back. But there are reasons which I cannot go into why GOA hasn't dropped the suit, and they're good reasons. But we don't want to tip our hand.
Of course, I agree. So sometimes, look, guys, let me word it another way. Some gun rights organizations, and look, I don't do this show to bash people, so I'm not even going to say who they are, but a lot of people probably know who they are. I'll say the NRA's name. I don't mind saying that. And others. They seem like they conjure up fear to get a bunch of dues, and then they'll do some kind of lawsuit, or they'll hop onto one of GOA's lawsuits at the very, very end to then gin up more dues. And it appears some organizations only do these lawsuits to get more dues, and they're like their own, money industrial nonprofit complex within and of themselves. GOA, when they do a lawsuit, they're actually trying to win the lawsuit. Is that right?
Yeah. Basically, what they are, it's not Cody Wilson. I will say that. People are guessing Cody Wilson all over the comments. It's not Cody. I told Cody who it was, so it definitely was not good. But I say we as GOA. I not a GOA employee, but I do consult for GOA.
Okay.
So, but GOA is gearing up for giving themselves the best possible route to victory in this, which might not be the most flashiest place, might not be the most flashiest case, might not be the most flashiest whatever, like plaintiffs. It might not be the most flashiest lawsuit, whatever. You can name whatever
right
you want to pin in there, flashiest whatever, but it is the place that they are going to win.
And I am not surprised to hear that at all, because the GOA believes every single gun control law is unconstitutional. They support absolutely zero gun control laws, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Zero gun control law. I will say, like, let me give you a sample, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can file in, like, let's say, Virginia, where GOA is located at. Big metropolitan area around DC, Virginia, Maryland, all those big populations, big East Coast centers, or New York is another big East Coast center, right? And that would get a lot of press. But then you would run into the Fourth Circuit. where you're guaranteed to lose.
Yes.
Or
That's
you
right.
could sue in the ninth, which has gotten better over the years, but is still not as good as some other places.
And unfortunately, none of them are actually good, if you ask me. But there is called hedging your bets, and some are less worse than others.
Some are less worse than others, and there's other strategies you can use to maybe win.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, there's that's for people a lot smarter than I to determine what those strategies are. I don't know what the strategies are, but they're out there. What I'm saying is, you have to be strategic. You have to be deliberate, and you have to do what's going to win, even though it might not be the flashiest.
Dude, and we just need a win. Like, I get it. Crump gets it. He just said it a minute ago. It's like, dude, people are impatient. They're like, sue him now. I mean, of course, like, life sucks right now in so many ways. I get it. Like, they're literally trying to completely destroy our country, like, every minute of every day, including what's left of the Second Amendment. But you still have to have a cool, steady hand, because these people have been chipping away. I saw somebody earlier said apathy. Yeah, the American people have been apathetic for a long, long time. And you can't just instantly turn this stuff around in literally 1 second. And unless you can you think of a way to do that? Just turn it all around tomorrow?
No, not really.
I mean, there are ways, but that has to do with things you talk about, that poll about 1776. And nobody really wants that. I mean, just think about it, guys. If we did that, and we literally divided this country in half right now, well, I might have something pointed at half of you, and half of you might have something pointed at me, because you might think things are drawn on certain lines, and then before you know it, the country could just split right in half. And I just don't know. It just doesn't sound like anything that'd be too awesome to happen right now, right?
That is correct.
So that's why we're doing things like, and look, guys, you guys do whatever you want. I don't even know, John. Let me clarify to make sure nothing's changed. Last time I checked, you're not even getting paid from the GOA. Is that true, or is that different now?
I am taking some money for some consulting I am doing.
Okay.
I'll be strictly honest with that, but that's not for what I've been doing for them. I've been
As
doing
Virginia State Director, were you getting paid?
no. I'm doing some you'll see, developing something for GOA.
Well, geez, oh, Pete, I mean, you have to get paid a little bit to do. Yeah.
Well, I'm putting out money to develop something for GOA. So
Okay.
Getting money back is, going to be a prerequisite to that.
Okay, so with that, in full disclosure, and then me, I don't get a penny from the GOA. The GOA has given me some swag that I have sent out to you guys, and I still have some more to send out, like this, not a machine gun. I get no money from the GOA. People are kind of asking in the chat about different groups. I recommend joining the GOA. What's your stance on that, as far as who's the best group?
I would definitely join the GOA. That's why I work for them. Like, the money I do get from the GOA is a very, very small amount. It's a very small amount. I mean, I could work at Starbucks and make more in like a day than I make in a week from the GOA.
And I know some of your qualifications and some of your other business ventures, and you can make a heck of a lot more money if you never even thought about the Second Amendment the rest of your life. I know that.
It's like, okay, we're going to be coming out with something soon, a technology-based product soon, free product soon, for everyone out there to use. And I've been working on that for several months now, like hours and hours a week. So they're getting a steal.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of that. Trust me.
So it's actually not me getting the money; it's one of my companies getting the money.
Okay.
But
look,
about a 90% about a 90% discount. Right. So
You guys support whoever you want. Both of us have made it very well known. We both support the GOA. I saw somebody talking about state groups. I'm not going to opine on that. You guys have to vet each individual one, because I could name state groups out there that are awesome, and I could name you state groups that are a little less than stellar, in my opinion. So, yeah. Right?
Yeah. I just want to comment on Band Talk. I'm a GOA lifetime member too. So there you go.
And guys, look, I'm an NRA lifetime member. Have I given them one penny since I found out how bad they had broken? No. But once you get the life membership, you just have it. But I ignore their calls from my phone every single day. So I'm not giving the NRA a penny. I know a lot of you guys have before. I did too. I thought I was doing the right thing. And I thought that was the best group to get in with back when I hadn't even heard of the GOA. So there you guys go. No reason to be ashamed. But if you wanted my input now, I'm not giving any money to the NRA at all. That's me.
No release date, but I am releasing a book. It's called The Gun Owner's Guide to State Level Advocacy, which is going to go over all like state level gun groups in the country and break down the history, what they stand for, and stuff like that. So anyone can, like, if you want to look up a state group, you can look them up and read all about them, their founding, what they believe in, stuff like that. I'm working on that right now. I will say Virginia, the top groups of Virginia. I mean, that's not because I'm biased. VCDL is an insanely strong. They're stronger than a lot of national gun groups.
Yes, I've heard that many times.
AZCDL, like any of the citizens defense leagues, then none of them are related, but they seem to be all pretty good. Then you have Grassroots North Carolina, which is really good. Maryland Shall Issue if you're in Maryland, that's a great organization to join. So the book's going to help you like navigate that. And then there's other groups, state groups, that are like completely trash.
Oh yeah. There's, like I said, there's good ones and there's bad ones. There's a few things though. And look, guys, I'm bummed out about this whole thing with JSD, because it's an attack on all of us. You had that right. And it's an attack on these people, because they're real people with real families. And it's literally insane, but I'm starting to see a little bit, like, as soon as I want to take the black pill sometimes and just say everything in life sucks, I'm starting to see a little bit of things to look forward to, though, when I think about a lot of this. What about you?
There's definitely, we're winning. We are winning. We have been able to stop almost all bad legislation. Mm-hmm. One of the things, Vala snuck through, but almost all bad legislations on a federal level, federal gun laws have, for the most part, gotten better, with few exceptions like bump stocks, which have been a gun law. It's a rule change, but you know how I feel about that rule change.
Yep.
But think about it. 20 years ago. Hold on, I call. Sorry. Well, let's go back to the late 90s. Late 90s, you couldn't have a magazine more than 10 rounds. You couldn't have a lot of ARs. Constitutional carry wasn't really a thing. I mean,
Vermont,
yeah. But overall, it wasn't really a thing, and shall issue really wasn't a thing for most of the country. And now all 50 states has some form of concealed carry, which is amazing. 25 states have constitutional carry, and the majority of the states are either shall issue or constitutional carry. And if the New York State Pistol Rifle Association, if they win at SCOTUS, which I think they have a great chance of winning that when that decision comes down, I'm pretty sure it's already written, then that will probably make every state shall issue, hopefully.
I believe so.
And look how far we have come.
And that's why I want everybody that's listening now and all your friends you talk to, look, it's a fine line, guys. It truly is. We cannot sit back and rest on our laurels. That's how we got to where we are now. Too many people just didn't give a crap for too long in this country. But you guys need to focus on the positive energy so you can keep fighting like hell. So this doesn't become a communist country, because I feel some good momentum right now. But if we lose it, then we're done. So don't get yourself so miserable that you just go crawl in a hole. That's just what I want to always remind people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you put man against the masses comment up there really quick?
Let's see if I see this here.
Everyone's talking about last night on DLT After Dark. I got a little bit heated.
Okay, well, like I said, I have not seen that, but tonight I have
Yeah, there's a bunch of memes going around this morning.
The too much paperwork version, the too much paperwork left to do tonight version of Crump on, right?
Yes, I can't get heated. I need to go to sleep. I literally sat up like seething over what happened to JSD last night.
Guys, if you have a last minute question, John was very generous with his time tonight. If you guys knew how much he still has to do tonight, you really know how generous he's being. So he's going to get off in just a second. I see one question, and then if you guys have any real quick ones for John specifically, and then I'm going to stay on here and hang out with you guys for probably about another hour or so. Thomas Hardy's asking, I don't know the answer. Do you know anything about it? When it's coming?
They usually release their decisions on their opinions on Thursday, but that's not exactly a rule. So I mean, we could wake up Monday and they could just release it. It's usually on Thursdays. It could be as soon as Monday morning, or it could be next month.
Okay.
No one knows.
And normally things don't leak. Now that changed recently here, but normally nothing leaks.
Yeah, that is unheard of.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a small group that actually gets the decisions.
Very small.
It's very tightly controlled.
They said like less than 36 people might have seen that. That's what I've heard.
Yes.
You know what, Gail? We are already split in half. But here's the thing: if you're hanging out in here tonight, you're with the good half, and we're a little bit smarter and a little bit tougher and better looking than the other half. So I think you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying?
We're split into thirds, I think.
Yeah. We're thirds or sixth, or I could go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it depends.
So we've been on an hour. I know you have, I think you said 10 pages to write tonight, or review still?
Oh, no, I got like 300 pages to review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit more than 10.
Well, you had something 10 that you had to write. Maybe I heard you wrong. I don't know. Maybe you already did that earlier.
No, I mean, I got to go through those, read through all of them, and try to figure out something. And the crappy part is, I could read through everything and there'd be nothing there, and then I just wasted hours of my time.
I understand. So lots of people in here thanking you for your time, appreciating what you're doing. It looks like you've been kind of reading through the chat as we've been going, right?
Yeah. I appreciate everyone, and I appreciate everyone out there. If you are watching this show, that means you do care about your rights. There are a lot of people out there that just are apathetic to everything. And your crowd, your audience, your community, they're not apathetic. If they were apathetic, they wouldn't be watching you.
That's why I love them. Yep.
And I would like to say, 280 here, Chris, Mr. Chris, you are great at. You see, I keep on changing your name up during the whole entire stream. called you Dave. I've called you Chris. I don't know. It's an inside joke between me and Dark. I call Dark all for every time I'm on the stream. I call him a different name.
Oh yeah.
But everyone out there needs to get into the fight. We're not going to win this battle without everyone out there. And it's just not enough to give money to your local gun group or your national gun group or anything like that. That's not going to win the battle. What's going to win the battle is for everyone to get involved and to get active and become advocates.
I completely agree. Well, is there anything else you wanted to shout out on your way out, or?
Just let me do this. The Cap, it's in overtime. The Caps game is in overtime. Got it right up here. But yeah. I want to not plug my own channels. I want to plug a channel called DLD After Dark. Great channel. Good friend of mine, and Flying Rich.
All right.
Go check those guys out.
All right. Awesome, man. Those are cool guys, and I appreciate you hanging out with us. Hopefully it was just a good time, everybody watching, and I appreciate you writing these articles and providing clarification tonight for all of us, man.
Yeah, we got to do this again.
We will.
All right.
All right. See you later, man.
All right. I will see you guys later. Oh, I got one more thing to say. Am I still live?
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing to say.
I knew he was going to do that. Knew he was going to do that. Thank you, John. I appreciate it, man. Rudy Finney with the Super Chat Edu Channel Member saying, thank you for your time, Mr. Crump. Always great seeing and listening to you. And I know that he read that message, so thanks, man. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Guys, this is literally nuts. And Crump has tons of work to do, guys. I'm really glad that he came on for an hour. The stream's not over, though. I'm going to keep going like I always do for a little less than an hour here. What do you guys think? I mean, we're literally normal people, like believing that the Constitution means what it says and says what it means. To me, that's normal. And don't ever let them change your mind on that. So with perfectly reasonable, smart people in the chat, can you guys actually figure out what the heck's going on here? Like in a literal sense. Now, figuratively, I think we all know what's really, truly going on here. And I think the Founding Fathers predicted it too. But they're literally saying cease and desist the sale of firearms without a license. But he's not selling firearms. Then they're saying it has nothing to do with this new Rule 2021R05. I'm talking about JSD, by the way, but it just happens to come out a few weeks later. Come on, man. Shubin national pressure. Like, literally, the former vice president. Let's go, Brandon. Why is he the former vice president? Well, literally, he's the former vice president because he is the former vice president. Let's think about that. Shout out to Misty Wayne for the awesome decal. Cease and desist. The sale of firearms without a license. Okay. Cease and desist the sale of a full set of component parts necessary to produce or readily converted into a functional firearm, whether in a single transaction or in multiple structured transactions. I'll tell you guys what, this letter is written to Mr. Venro and JSD Supply here. If they send this letter, they could actually cease and desist most retail companies in the United States. No, I'm actually being dead serious. I mentioned the piece of pipe and a nail and not much more than that and stuff from your home improvement store, Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, whatever. Not necessarily endorsing any of those companies. I'm just saying. You could probably go to the dollar store. Are they going to make trees illegal? Because you could probably sit there. Actually, you literally could sit there and whittle a branch off of a tree properly and make something go boom out of the end of the pressure vessel you made. No, you actually literally could. I'm not going to talk about how because I don't know how, but this is thought crime. This is the idea, in my opinion, that they just want to make everybody so scared and so frustrated and so haggard that we either get too weak to fight or too scared to fight. Do you guys think that's what's going on? I mean, it must be what's going on, because if you literally look at the plain reading of this, it just doesn't make sense. Now, it doesn't make sense to me because I'm just a landscaper, lawn mowing guy that loves firearms. But here's the problem. Even top-notch lawyers don't really understand what this means. And even the AFT itself doesn't actually understand, literally what this means. Because it says here, immediately and fully comply with and abide by all laws and regulations governing the sale of firearms, frames, and receivers. But he's not selling frames or receivers. But it could be, in theory, converted later on if you bought certain things now, certain things years from now, weeks from now, minutes from now. Wow. What if you bought, let me think here. What if you bought a pound of sugar? Okay. What if you bought an old car that didn't have an engine in it? Should you be arrested for drinking? I keep bringing drinking up, not because I care what you guys do, but I don't like drinking and driving, and most politicians are alcoholics. So hold on a minute. You have a thing of sugar. It could be fermented into alcohol, yeah? You could put an engine in that car that doesn't even have an engine yet and make it a running car in theory, and then drink your homemade wine and then, I don't know, drive into somebody or something. Should that be illegal? Wow. And here's the crazy part. It's not even illegal to make your own firearm. And it never has been. And it was lawful to make your own firearm before the United States of America was a country. Because if it wasn't, we probably wouldn't be a country. And if it becomes illegal, or people actually comply with these unjust, unconstitutional laws, if they comply, our only chance is mass non-compliance. I truly believe that. It's really one of the only chances people have against any type of tyrannical dictates. But if they make it illegal to make your own firearm, and then people comply with it, people have been complying a long time in this country. But if they comply with it, we wouldn't have been a country if we wouldn't have been able to do it then. And I think we'll cease to be a country if you can't do it now or any time in the future. I truly actually believe that. And I think they're trying to make an example of somebody that's been known to be one of the biggest fighters in the 2A community. Somebody that didn't just sit there and make money just to try to see how rich he could get. No, somebody that has taken a lot of his money, as John Crump said earlier, and put it right back into organizations like the GOA and other places too to fight against this stuff. Somebody who's been vocally against it. Somebody who hasn't been afraid to talk about this stuff. I think that's exactly why JSD got that letter. I mean, this is in my opinion, obviously. Maybe they'll send me a letter because, I don't know, I don't sell firearms, and actually neither does Jordan Venro, as far as I know. I've never seen any firearms for sale on his website. Have you? And I get it, man. Life's short, and then you die, and everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go right now. I get that. But why is everybody so darn afraid of everything? They're trying to scare everybody right now. They're trying to scare you, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I bought a P80 kit from JSD Supply, maybe they don't yet, or maybe they already do. When are they going to get my number? When are they going to whatever? Hopefully they have everybody's names and numbers. Hopefully they try to come after 100 million people and arrest every darn one of them. That's how many gun owners there are in the United States. Here's the problem. I'm actually not being tongue-in-cheek. Hopefully they come after and just try to arrest every single person that owns a firearm in the United States. Actually, that could probably be the best thing that ever happened to us. I'd like to see how that would look. I'd like to see them put all those people in jail cells. I'd like to see them all get a jury of their peers. Now, we don't really have speedy trials too much anymore. If you look at what happened on the 6th day of January, there's still people on bread and water right now that still haven't actually formerly been arraigned for their crimes, in my opinion, Susan. In my opinion. I don't know if we have any speedy trials anymore, but at a certain point, it's like, just come and arrest everybody. 100 million people. If you guys have got a pair, put your big boy panties on and come on, AFT. I mean, what are they trying to do here? Are they making you guys too scared to want to build your own firearm? I mean, it's a very personal choice for you to make. And I encourage you to make all your choices on your own, but I would hope you guys aren't afraid to do that. Boy, I'm sure glad the founding fathers weren't afraid to do that, aren't you guys? And I want to remind you guys of this, and then I'm going to talk about a couple other things. But people have been talking a lot lately. They're like, man, are we going to have food to eat this fall? I don't know. I think so. Hopefully. Hopefully you guys are prepared as much as possible. Will we even be able to buy guns sometime in the future? I don't know. Will we? That's not just for me to answer. That's for everybody to answer. You remember when Ben Franklin was asked, what do we have, sir? A republic or a monarchy? Right? He said a republic if you can keep it. He didn't say that we would have this Republican form of government forever just by sitting back saying, I don't care. What can you guys do about it? Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I know you guys are doing something more than 99% of the people out there. You got to keep talking to people. Politics is downstream from culture. You need to remind people this is perfectly normal to own firearms. It's perfectly normal to build firearms. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Tell people why. Don't just run around and say the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I feel comfortable saying the second half in front of you guys if I'm just trying to shorten it a little bit, but I also like to remind you as often as I possibly can. It's a beautiful amendment, the Second Amendment, because most of them tell you what, and this literally tells you why. You'd be surprised how many Americans actually have no clue why. They say, well, why do you need all those guns? Why do you need to build your own gun? Why would you need this? Why would you need that? Why would you need the shoulder thing that goes up? All you need is a revolver. Why would you possibly need an AR-15? And it's actually very eloquently worded, very simply worded in a very staunch way. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. So when someone comes up to you and asks you, why do you need to build this? Why do you need to own so many? Why do you need to shoot so much? Because I want to be free. And then ask them, say, do you want to be free? And if they say, no, I don't want to be free. I want to live in servitude on my knees, licking the boot. I mean, somebody might literally tell you that. And if they do, it's up to you what you want to do. But I just tell those people to hell with you. I don't have time for you. I need to keep on talking to good, patriotic Americans. I don't know what the heck you are, but bye-bye. There's so many reasonable people that if you walked up to them and said, do you want to be free? They would tell you, yes, we do. Okay. And then you'll ask them, are you a gun owner? Yes, I am. Do you hunt? Yes, I do. And then some of them would stop there. But some, if you said, do you think we should have an AR-15? They'd say, yeah, I do own one. Or I want to own one. Great, great. Well, what's the problem then? How could we have one gun control law with 100 million gun owners if everybody thought like you? Well, I'm noticing a lot of people actually don't. Because the next question you should ask them, and I ask a lot of people, and I know my friend Frank was watching earlier. I don't know if you're still here. He's been asking a lot of people this. They'll be with you all the way to that point, but you say, what have you actually done, though, to preserve that right? Because if this is a government instituted amongst men, that's actually you that needs to preserve that. And they'll say, well, what do you mean? I hunt, I target shoot, I bought an AR-15. Okay, and what? Have you called your congressman lately? No, I haven't done that. Okay. Have you called your United States senator? No, I haven't done that. Do you know what a precinct delegate is? No, never heard of it. Do you want to know what it is? Nah. All right. Do you know if they're trying to pass any local city or township ordinances? Because do you even know who your representatives are in your own town? Yeah, I went to high school with the one guy. Okay, well, are they trying to pass any gun control in your county? I don't know. Do you guys talk to people like that? There's a lot of people that literally don't care, and a lot of them even own the same amount of firearms you do. And they literally just sit there and they say, well, I've got what I've got, and It's too hard to call somebody. It's too hard to talk about it. A lot of people tell me this too. This is a good one. I know some of you in the chat will have an opinion on this. Have you ever heard anyone tell you recently, I don't want to be on a list? If I talk about it, I'll end up on a list. Oh, really? First of all, it's two things. When they say, but I don't want to be on a list. It's like, dude, did you hear they took gullible out of the dictionary? Oh, really? Why did they do that? And I'm like, yeah, and stuff, right? I don't want to be on a list. I think we heard enough about all the NSA leaks. Everybody's on any type of list they're ever going to be on. I truly agree with that. Don't want to be on a list. But what if the founding fathers didn't want to be on a list? Because when they signed the Declaration of Independence, they took the quill to the inkwell and actually wrote it down on a piece of paper that literally declared the independence from Great Britain and was the start of the formation of this country. I don't know if people really understand that this country was founded on a list. It was founded on self-governance. It was founded on a country where literally it would run at the consent of the governed. And I read this a lot, and I'm going to read it again because it's just so important. I'll tell you guys what, I'll stop reading the Declaration of Independence either A, the day you want me to stop reading it, I guess, because if you don't want me to, I could just read it to myself. But actually, I'll stop reading it once there's 100 million people out there that are actually standing up saying, shall not be infringed, means what it means, and says what it says, and I shall not comply. Because that's how they ended Prohibition. That's how they ended the tyranny of the King of England. And for everyone that's afraid on a list, just think about the list that was established on July 4th in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. And I'm just going to read the intro like I usually do, just for time reasons. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. They use the word entitle. You are entitled. These are the laws of nature and of nature's God, not the government. This is the opposite of the government. Actually, you couldn't even get any more opposite of the government than what they're talking about right here. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. My friend Bantalk actually wrote some of his reasons that he was impelled and put it on his channel. Maybe you guys should write them down. It might be something for you to think about. Oh, I'm being serious. Good thought exercise at the very least, if not more. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. That's literally all of you watching right now. That's regular people, not just politicians, especially not just them, you. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Beautiful, really. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. They work for you. You're their boss. That's literally what this is saying right here. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form that to them, that's you again, shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. And we're not just going to do this for any old reason, though. That's what they're saying next here. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown. This next part's going to explain why we've had hardcore gun control for about 100 years in this country. And accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, It is their right. It is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. And they talk about such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. And they were talking about that under the King of England. And geez, they sure put their name on a list, didn't they? Well, yeah, absolutely. Now, there were things that ensued after. The shot heard around the world had actually happened almost a year before this. And I'm not advocating for anything like that, okay? But I'm saying that it is something that we need to remember, like what the foundation of being an American is. That the government should only operate. It should only exist. Its only legitimacy is derived from the consent of the governed, from the people. And I can't help but to believe and hope, and this is where I am starting to see some positive signs, that enough people say, no, what's this? We don't know what this means. We don't know what it means. We don't know what it says. Nobody can understand it, so you do not have our consent to even write this stuff. And by the way, since you don't have our consent to write it, you no longer have our consent to even exist at all. I mean, I wasn't joking when I said to Crump earlier. I called my congressman and said, I'd like to bring the issue that's going on with JSD Supply, like particularly this issue, and I'd like you to work on that, okay? And by the way, you really just need to abolish the ATF, period. Because them existing is completely unconstitutional, in my opinion. And not in my opinion, in the Founding Fathers' opinion. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's up over 20,000 between actual laws, not legit laws. All laws that are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. Marbury v. Madison, one of the early Supreme Court cases, but even those, even the bona fide laws, using big air quotes for those of you that listen, and then these regulations and rules that we know of. Wow, that's a really long way from shall not be infringed. It's kind of crazy, actually, isn't it? And I think you're perfectly normal if you think that's crazy. What do you guys think? In fact, I'll go a step further. I think you would literally need to be crazy to actually believe any of this is legitimate. I mean, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. I mean, you just have to be a total wretched human being to not desire those things. And there are people like that that exist. And there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately, that exist. But I can't imagine that literally over 50% of the people in this country don't want to be free. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Half the people. That would literally mean if there's two people sitting there right now. And shout out to all the husbands and wives, boyfriend, girlfriends. I know some of you guys sit and watch, together. Just look at the person next to you and say, well, hold on a minute. I want to be free. So statistically, you don't. Now, watch yourselves, okay? You can blame it on me. Say that to your better half. You might get slap punched, whatever, but is that really possible? That over half the people in this country literally don't want to be free right now at all? That they don't want life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Look, you have to pursue your own happiness. Nobody's ever going to make you happy but yourself. And you're not going to make anybody else happy, but you're going to be a lot better to the people around you if you can find that happiness and that peace in yourself, in your spirit, spiritual peace that people find. That must be the case. If there's literally two of you, I'm not talking like something crazy here, okay? This isn't like, let's fill up a whole stadium full of people in America. And I bet you there's somebody amongst us that doesn't want to be free and doesn't want to. No, like literally, since the government was instituted among men, and they would only govern at the consent of the governed. The fact that we literally have all this draconian stuff happening right now literally means if there's two of you in the room, that you both have to point at each other because one of you doesn't want to be free. That's kind of crazy, actually. Wow. Now, of course, two of you are sitting there watching this. You probably both want freedom. You probably both agree with everything I'm saying and probably say it even better than I do. But there's two other people sitting maybe next door or down the road or somewhere that are like, no, I don't want to be free. I want to live under absolute despotism. I guess what I'm really getting at here is there truly more than half the people in this country who don't want to be free, who don't want life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or is it this silent majority that we always hear about? Because the other side that's trying to tear this country down, they're not silent. They're screaming from the rooftops. They're setting everything on fire. Remember? Mostly peaceful protests. Boom. It looked worse than a lot of the footage that you see in the Middle East. I mean, literally. The other side's not quiet about things. I don't know. People are just too afraid to be put on a list. A list for what, though? Afraid to be put on a list for saying that you want to be free? And that you want the government to operate the consent of the governed? Because that's all really any of us want. I'm going to speak for myself, but I know I'm speaking for a lot of you. All you really want is just to live your life, be happy, find a few people you love, a few people you care about, get through the strife that's always going to be presented in life, but have a lot of good times too, right? Just to get you through and enjoy things like all the pretty flowers that are in bloom in the spring. You enjoy those, I hope. Take the time to, if you don't, by the way. I seriously recommend it. Take the time, just stop and look at flowers, look at birds. There's a way to avoid a lot of this noise, right? I think that there's probably a lot of people who do inherently want to be free. I think so. I think there's a lot of people that believe in the right to bear arms and that it shall not be infringed, and they realize that if we lose our guns, it's going to get a whole heck of a lot worse. But I think a lot of people are either scared or they're just out and out lazy. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you guys have a better grip on it than me, but I can't possibly imagine that over half the people in this country don't want any freedom whatsoever. I really, really, really don't think that's true. So that does give me some hope. That gives me some hope. It really does. There's a lot of people out there that inspire me every single day. I don't know that I inspire anybody here, but hopefully I give you guys a place to congregate and gather and hang out, right? Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things. I just saw somebody say Jesus, that's a beautiful thing for a lot of you. Some people aren't Christians. I'm not going to judge your faith, but whatever you do have faith in, I encourage a lot of you guys to draw on it because this stuff's getting completely nuts right now. I mean, literally, you read this, but Jordan's going to fight back. I hope a lot of you guys are fighting back. And I don't mean like physically fight. There's times for peace and there's times for war, right? Of course. But people need to do something. And if you're having those conversations with those people, let me know. Either in the chat tonight, because I reread this stuff, or in comments, or however you guys tend to, leave me messages or whatever. Let me know how you guys are reaching out to people. Maybe you'll give me some better ideas. Because there's so many people. They're good people, in a way. You sit there and you think about it, and it's like, well, he's a good dude. I work with him. He hunts, but he's like, yeah. This is America. Okay, well, that's great. But just sitting there saying, America, 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 America. It's awesome. It's fine to be patriotic. You can hate your government and love your country. I think a lot of you are like, amen to that. You can hate your government and love your country, and you can say America. You can say America. It's all fine, but you can't just do that. I mean, obviously not. How is this possible? In 1934, they passed the National Firearms Act, then what's been coined the Greatest Generation. And I don't doubt that. That's what they're called. The people that served in World War II. The Greatest Generation went over and fought a war against the National Socialist German Workers' Party? Russia was on both sides at different times. Japan, Italy, Mussolini and the fascists. They went over to a faraway land and fought like hell to save the word from all of the different isms out there, right? They're just different versions of the same thing in the end, which leads to mass carnage, death, destruction, hundreds of millions of people dead is what it always leads to, no matter what the ism is. They literally were willing to get in a boat, on an airplane, and they were willing to travel thousands of miles overseas to fight off the Reds, the commies, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the oligarchs, the fascists, and they fought like hell and actually won. And they didn't do anything at all, like not even a little bit, not even like an iota to fight off the National Firearms Act in the United States of America. Man alive. It's kind of crazy. I'm not ripping on those people. Were these people talking about this stuff back then? I don't know. You know, maybe the internet's one of the biggest curses we have and one of the biggest blessings we have. I might be able to find 180 something people to talk to personally around here. Maybe. But not all in one place at one time, of course. People have all kinds of opinions on Supreme Court cases going on right now. I have opinions too, but that's not what this stream's about tonight. Not generally what this channel's about. Roe v. Wade. Was it $40 billion? And Congress just sent Ukraine. As far as I know, a lot of people support that. To each his own on that. A lot of people support that. Literally, millions of people have gone off and fought and died in Vietnam. We will literally fight for every country there is in the world. Heroes that do that so that we may be free while never even looking at or acknowledging the piles and piles and piles of gun control that's in the United States. None of them are alive anymore. God bless them. But I have, deceased family members, and all of us do. Look, this literally proves my point. All of us have relatives or former friends. If someone's still alive, God bless you. Like, you're really, really old, and you're awesome. If someone somehow was still alive from World War II watching this, and man, shout out. Because I believe these people did do it for the right reasons. But, wow. So many people from the United States fought in World War II to try to save the world from a government that is literally just like what our government is today. Millions of people going over to fight in foreign wars, and we still have a National Firearms Act? Can someone explain this to me? World War I? World War I was in the 19 teens. When 1934 kicked around, a lot of World War I veterans were still in the prime of their life. And I'm not putting this all on the backs of the veterans. I'm just telling you guys where the country was then and still is now. Veterans are generally pro-gun, but not all. Oh, no, not all. I've met some of the most rabid anti-gunners that hold their oath high, and they said, I pledged an oath to the United States Constitution when I was in the Army, Air Force, Navy, whatever. And they said, so therefore, I have this authority to tell you that you don't need to own this because I was in the military. I've literally heard people on local, county commission boards saying that. Veterans against having 2A sanctuary counties. Most veterans are pro-gun. I know the veterans that hang out here are. Not putting this on the veterans. I'm just trying to establish these different generations of people. I saw what Brastard said a minute ago out of the corner of my eye. The original generation of this country was the greatest generation, clearly. But we literally sent so many people over there. Wow. I'm going to go on one. I'm going to digress just a little bit. Just humor me on this. You guys can go as wild with this as you want in the chat. It's my body, my choice. The government doesn't get to choose what I do with my body. That's what's been said by many people. What about all those boys that died that were drafted in foreign wars? Did they have a choice? Did they have a choice whether their body was in front of a crew-served machine gun or exposed to Agent Orange or some of the chemicals that our government invented and used on and amongst its own people? I don't know. Told you I wasn't going to talk too much about that topic because that's not what this stream's about, but my body, my choice. Men have never, ever been faced with the government telling them what to do with their body, except for actually they have. And there's been so many millions of people that have fought in foreign wars so that we may be free while not even giving a crap what's going on here. It's crazy to think about, isn't it? Wow. Like literally, wow. I don't know. I think when you read letters like this, I don't know. I said, dude, we're actually getting pretty close to some of these countries and governments that we fought off over the last 100 years. And somebody said, dude, you're wrong. And I got all defensive and I got ready. And I said, dude, you're telling me that this stuff isn't getting close to that National German Workers' Party, National Socialist German Workers' Party? They're like, dude, just stop. In many ways, our government's worse than that. I'm like, oh, that's where you were arguing from. I was like, dude, you have to admit we're getting pretty close to some of these that we've sent millions of people to die for. And they said, dude, we're probably actually worse than that. I'm like, geez, we could be. We could be. We can't just sit back and do nothing. That's the moral of this story. We can't. But there is a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff to look forward to. I need to work on the schedule, but we were talking about the GOA earlier with John, and I'm going to have somebody from the GOA on. I don't have a date yet, but soon. There's a nice young lady named Courtney that has a student outreach program that the GOA is doing, getting those college students involved. That's awesome. That's awesome. Look, we need those youngins. We have to. All of us are getting old. We're getting older every day. We have to have the young people. We have to. And old people too. Okay? I'm not letting any of you off the hook because you're old. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find someone in here who might be a little bit old. I was looking for Mateo, but I haven't seen him tonight. I was going to use him as the old man example. So if you're old, you still need to stay in the good fight. You know what I mean? What's happening, Denny's plant-based journey? How you doing, man? Like, I don't have any answers to this stuff, guys, but I want to talk about it with you because I know a lot of you guys think about this stuff, and a lot of you offer me encouragement. There is stuff to think about, isn't there? That's for sure. What's happening, Joe Picetti? How you doing, man? How you doing, dude? How is it down in the south right now? Is it hot? It's hot right now. Whew. Michigan, it got hot out of the blue. 80-something degrees. But it was only like, was that 3 weeks ago I was on here streaming? I'm like, guys, it's snowing right now. We didn't get a spring in Michigan. Thank you, Ron. I have a couple cool guests lined up, actually. A couple people that aren't my normal crowd I would probably hang out with at all normally, just like, but cool people. Like, I don't usually hang out with, like, college kids and stuff, right? 10-year-old? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll hang out with a 10-year-old. But college people, I don't really cross their path much. But I'm going to have a few people on that I think will be cool, interesting conversations. It got hot in Michigan for sure. How you doing, JJ? Hopefully everything's good with you too, man. Mike Dupree, how about all those who fought in World War II that couldn't eat at Woolworths when they came home or had to sit in the back of the bus only? I don't know who Dr. Sweet is. I've never heard of that before. I am familiar with segregated bus seating. Yeah, that's a travesty, obviously. And I'm not trying to slight your comment. I just literally have no idea what you were talking about at the end, so... But people like to turn things into U-turns and change the subject all the time. And that's probably, probably part of the reason we're in here. I'm like, how do we allow one gun control law? And somebody's like, well, let's talk about bus seating. It's a great topic to talk about. It's a travesty. What can I say? I wasn't alive then. What can I say about all the people that allowed the NFA to go into effect? I wasn't alive then either. But I'm trying to stop anything else from going into effect the best I can. If all of us do a little bit, though, and do our best, it'll turn into a lot. I know. I know. I was talking to a friend about that. My body, my choice. Those are the same people that said you had to take a shot of this. You had to take a shot of that. You had to impair your breathing and cover your face by federal government decree. I get it. I definitely get it. Trust me. I'm just reading the chat here. Just catching up because normally these chats go so by, and I know Susan doesn't give me all of them, but when I do watch the chat after the fact, I'll sort it out and look at it through a different window and I can read it, but they don't quite give you all of them, if you know what I'm saying, right? Speaking of cool Pro 2A companies, let me know if there's anyone in the chat that has tried out one of the JM4 tactical holsters yet. I know there's a couple of you. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty cool. I have a link for these down in the description if you're interested, but man, I think it's a pretty cool concept. They're a Christian company. You can see the crosses there that are in their logo in between the two handguns. Handmade in Texas. Very nice leather. And you would be like super, super surprised at how well this magnetic retention works. Like awesome. So check out my locals. I've done some videos over there too about this. Dude, I posted some crazy deals over to locals earlier today. The one sold out in like 7 minutes. The other did in like maybe an hour. Hopefully some of you guys were able to take advantage. I saw the 5.7 rock pistol from PSA over there. That's pretty cool. I shot a rock. I guess it's been almost 2 months ago now. I was able to shoot one, and it was pretty smooth. Really nice shooting little gun, actually. Can I afford the ammo for it? I don't know, but it was fun. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a summary of some cool gun stuff on my way out. Oh, boy. Happy Friday the 13th. What's happening, Clover Tech? How you doing, man? I don't know if I missed you last time while you were live, but sometimes I see these comments a little bit later, but I was giving you a pretty big shout out last week, and shout out to the Clover Tech channel. He's a good dude, and I tried to be a good student, but he's helped teach me well, and I appreciate that, man. Clover does a lot of things. Look, he's the kind of guy that helps a lot of people. He does two main things, just to put it briefly. Lots of stuff for new gun owners in his videos. So if that pertains to you or you know somebody, definitely send him over there. He also helps out a lot of the YouTube gun channels that either don't understand how to navigate through Susan Wiki. Susan Wiki. Hi, Susan. How's it going? No, just helping people navigate that don't understand. Because, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you know how, like, they'll write, the AFT will write this. Sometimes Susan will write stuff you don't understand. And Clover will kind of help people navigate that stuff behind the scenes that are kind of wondering. Man, in my case, just offered me encouragement not to completely quit my channel a year ago, and I'm glad I didn't, because it actually just ended up being a misunderstanding or maybe an over-enforcement by somebody who looked at my channel a little differently than maybe they should have or whatever. So thanks for all your help, Clover. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Channel Moderator Bot, shouting out the JM4 coffee. No, this is a good company, guys. Their coffee's really, really good, too. And this is a teaser for some posts that I've put on locals. So if you're not on locals, you should be, guys. It's free to join, or it's a place where you can support. You can actually, like, just totally freeload over there, or for free you can support, or you can financially support. It's seriously like a win-win-win. Same thing with YouTube, actually. I've been talking about the PowerTac M5G2. Now, this is their original M5 because I have a G2 on the way. These are, like, awesome. So I don't know how familiar you are. Taurus did a co-branding. So this is the M5 PowerTac, and I actually bought this particular one as a Taurus. But just recently, PowerTac's come out with the M5G2. Dude, it's like almost twice the lumens of this. And this is a very bright light. It's a 18650 light, so pretty small. Fits into a pocket well. It's got magnetic charging here, and it has a tail switch, which I like a tail switch for many reasons. And it also has a secondary switch where you can mess with the modes here. Strobe alert, it might go into strobe, but I'm just hitting this. There we go. clicking again, it's going to have this little teeny like half lumen. Wow, my camera's really picking this up. This will last like a month. This is like the lowest possible setting. You can click through. I love it that the settings are not tied in. If you guys want to know more about this, check the link here in the chat. I'll also put it down in the pinned comment when it's over. These lights are awesome because I have my on-off switch on the rear. This is dual switch. So I'm just going to pick the setting I want. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can go off here. Back on, it comes right back into the previous setting than it was before. I think I'm going to hit strobe again here. I'm going to come off. And I can come right back into strobe. You can't do that with an O-light. Okay? So, look, I can come right into strobe if you want that. Or I could come right into, this is their little, like I said, it lasts like a month on this super, super low. So you can barely see that there. I can go off and come right back into that. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice balanced light. The knurling's good. They got the new G2 for like $70 right now if you use code 2AEDU15. So if you can help me post that, Linda, that'll help. Just so they can see it. It's like case sensitive. It's 2 capital A capital EDU15. 2AEDU15. You can save 15% off. Free shipping over $50. I'm just showing you guys this co-branded M5 Gem 1 that they did with Taurus. But so this is not the exact light. The new one's actually much more powerful than this. But I think it's cool that the magnetic charger's off here on the side instead of on the tail cap, because I really do like a click tail cap for many, many reasons. You can also mount these easier to weapons because you can put the remote switch, the pressure switch that you can screw on the back. So this is a non-firearms related product that I'm really excited about. And I can't show firearms on a YouTube live stream. So, but I like to show some of this other stuff that's kind of adjacent. I mean, to own a good flashlight really has nothing to do with owning a firearm in a way. But of course it does, because you need to see your threat, see your target. And people are like, usually that are like situationally aware enough to be worried about their lights are often situationally aware enough to carry a firearm. Guys, I have like bright studio lighting in here. This thing's super bright, but this is the old version that's 1300 lumens. The new one's like 2000. And one more thing about PowerTech. Again, this means a lot to some people. Other people it doesn't, but I think it's usually a good sign. People following the golden rule. Christian company. Yes, they are made in China, but they're actually designed in the United States. I don't even think you can buy a flashlight that's not made in China, just for the record. The circuit boards, they're all made in China. But no, employing lots of good people here in America. And I was talking to one of the people from there. I've owned their stuff long before I had any type of relationship with them. They're not paying me a penny to talk about their lights, but pretty wholesome people that run the company. The owner is their head engineer, for example. So this is not a state-owned Chinese company that's just peddling their Chinese wares in the United States. This is an American company, lifetime warranty, that actually cares about the products. And that kind of means a lot to me. And quite frankly, their lights are like really, really good. And I will have the M5 G2 to show you guys soon. So if you guys use my link or my coupon code, I get a small commission on that. But that's you helping the channel by choosing to use my coupon code or the link. They do not pay me for a positive review. And even if they did want to, I wouldn't accept it. That other company that I used to really like that I've gone away from, they might do different things. I don't know. But yeah, the knurling on this is good. Is anybody familiar with these guys? PowerTech? It's a pretty good company. Streamlight's a famous one. Sure. Surefire, if you can afford it. But literally you can call these guys and you'll have like a person answer the phone. Like I called the other day just to literally call them. I always do that. Any company that I have any type of affiliation with, I will call like their customer service just like as a nobody. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I ended up asking the guy for someone's phone number that worked there. But yeah, guy named Michael answered the phone and he was a cool dude. Like you can actually call these people if you have any issues or whatnot. which is cool. I like that. What's happening, Dale? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Bill Camperis, stream tomorrow night. He's not asking me, so I'll be streaming on Locals tomorrow night, which is another site. Links down there in the description. Posting lots of stuff on there for sure. Splitting Skulls Davids. I just want to say thank you for the forum and the stimulating conversation. No problem. And I'm glad this is a forum for you guys to talk and hang out. So I appreciate the encouragement. I really do. And look, guys, I know like your reps individually just don't care, and I get it, and they don't care. Well, maybe they don't care because not enough Americans care. Maybe. I don't have all the answers, but I try to bring up some points tonight for people to think about. Maybe if like a whole heck of a lot more people cared, they'd be forced to care by many different reasons, right? You can only imagine all the reasons they'd care if enough people. So, yeah. I'm just taking a quick peek. What's happening, James Kawasaki? Thanks for being a channel member, man. I appreciate it. No problem, Mad Panda. You guys can always catch this on replay, too. I'm going to get off in just a second. Just wanted to say hi to a couple of you guys in here. Hanging out. Supporting the channel with both encouragement and some of you guys financially. Shout out to all the channel members in the chat tonight. Patreon supporters. Appreciate you guys. Misty Mrs. Wayne, what's happening? How's it going? Hopefully she's doing some networking. If anyone needs, look, I'll tell you guys this. If anybody needs some nice decals done for their business, for their promotions, for their channels, whatever, get a hold of me. I can find a way to put you in touch with Misty. She does nice stuff. She does nice stuff, and I definitely recommend. And I think my Let's Go Brandon, I can almost reach it back there. Let's go, Brandon, as I just dropped it. That's what I think of that former vice president. Shumananamana national pressure. Right, Misty? What's happening, M. Gabriel? How's it going? Terry Brown, what's up? Dude, I have shot the veterans ammo. Go over to Locals if you guys want to know more about this, because I can't promote it here. But I made a post the other day, and I will again. Dude, I shot the veteran ammo, the Hyperion. True shot, okay? I'm an A-Zone Rewards member. Free shipping, A-Zone Rewards. Totally awesome. Code 28EDU20 will save you $20 off that membership. Go over to my Locals. I'll post another reminder of this. This ammo is, quite frankly, some of the smoothest ammo I've ever shot. And I haven't had a chance to chronograph it yet, but the slide was moving nice and quickly. I don't think it was just smooth because it's weak. I don't know. I'm going to give you guys more info on this. I've already shot it through the dagger. I'm going to be getting out there any day now. Guys, it just hits me like it piles on me in the spring this time of year. Trying to get my landscaping business going. The governor of Michigan tried to put it under 2 years ago. Now the former vice president's trying to put all businesses out. To all of you guys' generous support, I'm able to keep this channel going, and I appreciate all of you guys. But I make my true living. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a professional YouTuber doing lawns, landscaping, deck staining. I'm going to have more time for the channel soon, but yes, I shot the Hyperion veteran ammo. It was awesome. If you guys want to know how to get this, check out my Locals. It's a way you can help support the channel for free too, by the way. And this SARS Lamaz ammo is awesome. Hopefully you guys got some of it because it sold out. Good deals coming, they sell out. This stuff was nice too. Really nice. But yeah, dude, like, I'm glad you actually brought that up because I have some of it sitting right here. Some empty boxes. Do I have some more super chats, Linda? Darling, where's Linda at? Actually, where she's at on the little thing down here is behind my camera, if you ever wonder why I poke down there. Let's see here. I thought I saw a couple that I hadn't got to yet. I did. Let me see how to find this. There's some type of way that it's starred. If you could help me find those, that would be awesome. If you're listening, I can't fire her because I don't pay her, but CNT Designs. What's happening, man? CNT Designs and Arms. Shout out to your Edu Channel, man. Keep up the good work, dude. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. He's always been a good guy. I like him. Good dude. Definitely shout out to your channel, man. And I'm trying to find, because I know there were a few super chats I couldn't get. And I guess the problem with having people help you is when they can't help you, you're out of your system. So let me see what I can do here. All right. Rudy Finney. Hold on. I'm trying to go back to this, guys. Just give me 1 second here. I've had somebody helping me star these super chats for the last couple months, and they're not at the moment, so I'm literally having to scroll through like a whole long list. But I really, really appreciate you guys. Definitely want to give you a shout out. I should probably check my phone and make sure everything's okay here. Okay. My helper got tired and laid down and went to sleep, and I don't normally check my phone. So if I miss someone's super chat, I'm so sorry. I will definitely check it next time. And Rudy Finney super chatted, "Good night, Marco Polo." Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. You probably should have left the super chat for Marco. Thanks, man. I appreciate your support. Thank you, man. All right. Denny's Plant-Based Journey. Thanks for the super chat, dude, and for being a channel member. He says, "I think they're so afraid of the what if and believe the propaganda that they want risk removed. No risk equals no freedom. They want some freedom." You know what? I think you're probably right on that. I really do. I think so. I think it's definitely that, dude, either like fully or at least in part, right? I'm glad to hear you guys' opinion. I wasn't just trying to be like down on everybody. I want some encouragement. It's just I think about some of this stuff. And it's like, man, do people really like want to be free at all? Brastard762, what's happening, man? He's been watching the channel a long time. Says people generally do whatever the government tells them. That's why they fought. That's true. Speaking of people that's been around a long time, are you here tonight, Orion Fixer? A lot of times I'll say you say hi after the fact, but I don't see you while you're watching. So shout out to you if you still happen to be here this late. John Voorhees, what's happening, man? Teaching your nephew. That's an awesome thing, dude. Thank you for hanging out, man. And I am trying to get to these streams, these chats here. Rudy Finney with another super chat. Thanks, dude. He says, "Just see me, LOL." Thanks for the support, dude. I appreciate it, man. And I know I missed a couple. There's a system here. Here we go. CNT Designs and Arms. Thank you, dude. Thanks for the generous super chat, man. He said, "Great show and chat as always. We should have a contest for best letter to your rep and then do a giveaway." That actually sounds like fun. That would be pretty cool. See? He's thinking. Shout out to the CNT Designs channel, by the way. He does nice work as well. If you look at his avatar there. Pretty sure he made that. No, I know for a fact he did. And Rudy Finney with the super chat. My opinion on Veterans 9mm ammo. Look, guys, I'm not trying to sell you any. Although if you are going to buy some anyways, you can take the 10 seconds, go over to my locals, click on the link. A very, very small percentage does go back into the channel. But I really like this stuff, like a lot. And I probably need to pull just a little excerpt of my main video and get that out soon so you guys can see me shooting it. And then I have a video where you're going to see me shooting quite a bit of 9mm ammo through the dagger and then a whole bunch of other guns as well. But yes, I've shot it and I had great luck with it. If somebody else doesn't like it, that's up to you. I don't know. I haven't got to shoot it through every gun I own or anything yet. Thanks, Alabama Hot Sauce. Thank you. But it was very, very smooth. Very smooth. That's what I'll say to that for sure. And I'm just kind of lost because the way I used to read my super chats back in the day was I would read them as they came, right? So they didn't get too far. Now there's a way with the software there they can be starred, and my helper for the stream had to bail. Not blaming her. She just had to bail. And now that I'm on this new way I've been doing it with a helper, it makes it very, very difficult for me to find the super chat. So I'm a bit frustrated just because stuff happens, but I don't want to leave anybody out. I know a lot of you guys just donate to the channel to be awesome, but you also appreciate the shout out back. So if I did somehow miss any super chats, I will catch up to you next week. I really appreciate it. It just looks like a sea of scrolling over here when I try to go back. So check out locals. I'll be streaming tomorrow night, guys. I'm always putting cool deals out there. There's over 2,200 people on my locals community, so that's awesome. It's awesome you guys are hanging out here. Awesome you're hanging out there. And I have plenty more videos planned soon. And I'll see you guys there tomorrow night if you watch my streams on locals. And if not, I'll see you here again next Friday. I'm definitely going to have some guests coming on soon too, so we'll have some fun. What's happening, DLD After Dark? How's it going, man? Nice to see you, dude. Shout out to you and your channel. Matthew Porter with a generous super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. He says, good ammo is hard to find. We'll look into getting some. Look, here's the cool thing about being an A-Zone Rewards member. I've got that coupon 2A EDU 20, saves you $20, which brings it down to $79 a year. You get free shipping for the whole year and other perks like a free ammo bag, other things. What I like about it is I can just try a box. I can say, well, I'll try the veteran ammo and see if I like it or not. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. If you're an A-Zone Rewards member already at True Shot, buy a box. Just come back and tell me what you think. If you're not and you have to pay the shipping and you have to buy 10 to cost average, you can wait for me to show some more reviews. I'm not going to tell you guys that it's going to function perfect in every gun. I'll tell you the honest truth. I shot it in the PSA Dagger. I shot 100 rounds of it. Cycled it just fine, but it was smooth. Like, it's just so hard to explain. I'm not a reloader. My friend Mateo is. We were talking about it the other night after I did the shooting, and I'm like, how can it be so smooth but not too weak to, short stroke the slide? He said, dude, it's all about powder selection and different variables. It's all on that recipe. So here's what I'll tell you guys. On my PSA Dagger, very, very smooth. Okay? One of the smoothest 9mm I've ever shot. And this is the 115 grain. But the slide was cycling with a Swamp Fox Kingslayer on the top, mind you, right? And I don't have the lightning cut slide or any of that, but with a little extra weight on the side, it was cycling it. It was not short stroking it whatsoever. The action of the slide seemed plenty fast. There wasn't any of that. It might go back into battery. It seemed like it was cycling the gun just as well as anything else. So that was my initial first impression. 100 rounds down range. I had somebody else there shooting with me. I don't know if Jeremy's watching right now, but he was out there helping me at the range, and he thought the same thing. Both of us were kind of looking at each other, and it's like, well, first of all, 9 doesn't really recoil, in my opinion, really much at all. But, different opinions on that. Depends on the size of the gun, but it kind of felt like when we were shooting the Cyrus Lamaz, which is a little bit on the hot side. This is all plinking ammo, by the way. FMJ, guys. If you carry FMJ, that's on you. Whatever. Carry FMJ before you don't carry it all. I'm not a snob, but not generally carry ammo. This stuff's a little bit on the spicy side. Not quite NATO, but, it's a little on the hot side. We're shooting this. We were shooting the AAC, which is nice shooting ammo too, by the way. That AAC deal I posted earlier was awesome for the 124 grain. But then I was shooting this Hyperion. This is the 115 grain. Now, I don't know. You could guess that their 124 grain would even be smoother, but I don't know. It might be a different powder mixture. I still need to try some of that, but it was very smooth. We kind of thought we went down to shooting 380, really. So that's my opinion. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Go over to my locals and I'll show you all about it. All right, guys, I really appreciate all of you. I think I got to the super chats and got to say hello to as many people as I could tonight. And again, if I miss somebody, I will definitely get to you next week because my system of how I do this changed on me midstream, unbeknownst to me, and I'm doing the best I can. But thank you so much. I had a great time hanging out with all of you. What's happening, Scott Plagman and Scott Williams? 2 cool Scots right in a row there that have been around the channel for a long time. Good night, Saint Vicari. Fire all reps. I agree. We the people. What's happening, we the people? Nice to see you. Mike McClune. What's happening, man? Channel supporter. Thank you. I appreciate you, dude. Ron Wayne says the JM4 is... He likes it. He put a really nice locals post up talking all about it, too, the other day. What is happening, James? You've been around the channel a long time, too, man. I hope you're doing good. Nice to see you. Kurt24, what's happening? Mark Rosen. Gosh, there's just so many more good people in here than me. Thank you, Ronnie Thompson. Nice to see you, dude. South Carolina guy out there. What's happening, man? All right, guys, I have to get out of here, but I will catch up on the chat afterwards, and I'll see you guys here on YouTube very soon. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.